Welcome back to Hobby Jogger Elite. We have a half marathon in only about a week and a half from today. So I'm going to be doing one of my final quality sessions because we are officially in the taper period. So we are within that 2-week range of the race. And according to everyone who is smarter when it comes to the subject of running than I am, this is when you really shouldn't be doing any real intense, taxing workouts because you aren't really going to see any real training or running benefits in general when it comes to workouts this close to your goal race. So everything from here should really be establishing that comfortable muscle memory when it comes to race pace and just sort of like sharpening things with maybe workouts and intervals that are closer to sprints than they are, again, real long intervals that would tire you out that you're probably doing during your normal training period. We are doing a bit of muscle memory today when it comes to race pace because I feel like throughout this training block, I've done a ton of work at much faster than race pace for me, whether that's like 123, 122, 121, 120, whatever it is. I'm really going to try to like feel it out, and maybe today running at what I perceive to be like a comfortable half marathon quote unquote effort or pace is going to help in determining that. I just really haven't done a ton of work specifically at what I would consider half marathon pace. It's either been like VO2 max workouts at like 5K pace or quicker, or it's been stuff that's more steady, comfortable marathon effort type of stuff. So really need to start to establish some comfort and some rhythm at what I can hopefully achieve over the course of an entire half marathon. I'm gonna do 4 miles easy, 4 miles at a half marathon effort, and a 4-mile cool down. So 12-mile day here, 11 days out from the race. Here we are at the trail. It's a fine day right now, just a little less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So don't really know what race conditions are going to be on race day. It's a Saturday race. I think the start time is pretty early compared to the usual like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. start times. I believe this one starts at 7 a.m. So hopefully that leads to some cooler, more moderate weather. And I still don't know what shoe I'm wearing. Talked about it last week. I've been running a lot in the Adios Pro 3. This is my brand new pair of never before worn Adios Pro 3s. I think these are the coolest colorway I've seen so far for this shoe. But of course, the Alpha Fly 1 is always looming as that sort of set it and forget it race day shoe. So we'll see how this effort feels in a brand spanking new pair of very Irish looking or maybe Ivory Coast themed Adios Pro 3s, and maybe that will be a bit of a decider. Also don't know what I'm wearing in terms of race kit. I have my trusty Bandit Super Beam 7 pocket half tights on today. Again, another sort of default set it and forget it race day piece of attire, but beyond that I don't really know. So we're just testing some things out, making some decisions. Hopefully this goes well. Little over a kilometer into the warm-up. Got the porta potty visit out of the way early. Yeah, I can tell this is a new pair of super shoes. Definitely feel a bit more lively, a bit more punchy than other Adios Pro 3s, but that is to be expected because my other Adios Pro 3s have about 300 miles in them. I am sort of surprised to say that the difference, while noticeable for me because I've worn the Adios Pro 3s so incredibly much, it's noticeable between a pair with 300 miles and a pair with 0 miles, or I guess a little over a kilometer on them now. But it's not enough of a difference that I think it's going to be like a total game changer. The Adios Pro 3s have proven to be such an incredibly durable shoe, especially for a super shoe, which super shoes are sort of known for not being all that durable. So the fact that the difference is sort of this little between a pair with 300 miles, about 500K on them, versus a brand new pair is kind of crazy. All right, 4-mile warm-up is done. 7:36 average pace, 30 minutes, 35 seconds. Tried to create a more like dynamic warm-up because again, just trying to do what people smarter than me are doing and people who are better at running. Heard the coffee club guys talking about Mike Smith sort of philosophy with his warm-ups that he prescribes his athletes, doing some like faster stuff in the warm-up so you're not doing your first faster work during the actual working sets or during the tempo. So threw in 2 like smooth 200s, didn't sprint, but definitely tried to work up to a pretty fast effort. I think they were both like 35 seconds, but yeah, overall just trying to be more mindful of how I sort of like prep my body to run a little faster, set myself up for success. So 4 miles down, about to get into 4 miles at a half marathon effort. Definitely not going to race in a t-shirt on race day, but it's just feeling a little bit chilly, so I think I'm going to leave the t-shirt on here. Let's get this thing going. Oh, all right, I was too locked in for that 4-mile tempo at a relative half marathon effort. Apparently I was feeling really good today. Just kind of went to sleep, locked in, and ran until that watch beeped for the 4th time. So ended up being a bit quicker than I anticipated. But the thing is, it didn't feel quicker. Like that pace for that 4-mile tempo, the effort felt like what I was exerting to run 6:10 like a week or 2 ago. And we ended up going 4 miles, 6:02 per mile. Granted, this is a very flat route, but if you can see the mile splits there, went 6:05, 6:03, 6:02, 5:57. Was not anticipating a sub 6 mile there, but I feel so good, and that's weird, and I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the rear end here. But yeah, that was a lovely little 4-mile tempo. And let me tell you, Adios Pro 3s, my theory is that I always run threshold, so anywhere from like 10K paced reps, runs, to half marathon paced reps and runs so well in these as opposed to the Alpha Fly, because with the Alpha Fly it's more prone to leading to like bad mechanics and technique for me because it's a bit higher of a platform, a bit more mushy foam in Zoom X. The platform isn't quite as stable, but at a marathon effort my form and technique doesn't slip as much because it's not as strenuous as something like threshold is. And when threshold starts to feel a little bit harder, gets more strenuous, my technique, my form, it might slip a little bit. But the Adios Pro 3s, they encourage not medial pronation. They actually encourage more of like a lateral movement upon your landing, which is really good to offset pronation. So it helps me maintain good form even when I'm running faster, which I think makes things just feel smoother and easier. So I think that's the decider. I think I'm going Adios Pro 3 for the half marathon. Don't know if I'll be running 6 flat pace for a half marathon. I did not anticipate trying to do that today. I don't know if I even anticipate trying to do that on race day, but if the legs feel fresh and I feel as good as I just did for those 4 miles, where I hit mile 4 and I said, why not just do a 10K tempo? But I stopped myself. Maybe we have a better day on our hands than anticipated if everything else stays good. All right, I'm gonna cool down 4 miles. Stop yapping here. This is just a yap fest.